Hello, and welcome to Productivity for Solopreneurs, where each Wednesday at 1 p.m. I share insights to getting things done. So, welcome. And today we are having live number 107, and the topic is what happens when you work from a weekly list without a daily list. So, let me know that you're watching, whether it's live or on the recording, and say hi in the comments. I'm just going to pop over here so I can see any comments that are popping up. And for those of you who do not know me, my name is Evie Burke, and I help women entrepreneurs take their productivity to a new level. They are overwhelmed, they're exhausted by all of the things that they want to get done in their business and in their life, but they're not interested or able to work, 9 to 12 or more hour days. Like, who really wants to do that? But they do want to be completely and fully present in everything that they do, whether it's their business or their personal life. And they want to have healthy boundaries. So I help them create impactful solutions that really focus on getting those high priority items that they have to do done so they can grow their business with the confidence and ease that they know is possible and become the high achievers that they want to be. So let me just refresh this to make sure that I am live. Okay, I think I am. It's just not. Oh, there we go. All right. So last week I came across a article that was a compilation of advice from 10 different business owners, and it was productivity advice. And anytime I see these articles, I always have more questions, right? Because I want to know about them. Like, why does this advice that you're giving work for you? What has led you to give this piece of advice? Because not everything works for everybody. So knowing why or what it is about their business or about them that makes this piece of advice work, I think is always super important. And in these top 10 advice things from successful business owners or successful entrepreneurs, sometimes I think we miss the reasons that those pieces of advice work for them. So this particular article that I saw last week was about productivity, and it was productivity advice. And the first person that they listed, their advice was, pick 3 things to do each day instead of having a long, overwhelming to-do list. I thought, okay, I can get on board with that. That's great. And then a couple of people later, the advice was, don't create a to-do list, a daily to-do list. It's too constraining. Instead, create a weekly to-do list and work off of that and just do the tasks as you feel like working on them. And I went, huh. So a couple people earlier, the advice was pick 3 things to do each day. And now this person is saying, just have a bunch of things on your list and just do the things that you feel like doing. And I had so many questions. I wanted to ask this person, do you have a personal assistant? Is there a large team supporting you? How much time do you spend in meetings? Is your weekly to-do list, long, or is it fairly short? Are you marking your weekly list with the things that you want to do throughout just today? Or, the things that are high priority that need to be done like right now? Or is it just like that one long list and you just kind of decide, hey, this is the thing I feel like working on today? So if I had to guess, I would assume, perhaps incorrectly, perhaps correctly, I don't know this person and I didn't really have a way to get the information. I would assume that the person who had, just working off the weekly to-do list has a really great personal assistant who helps keep them on track, encouraging this person to do the things that, hey, this thing really needs to get done today, and encouraging them to do the things that they might not feel like doing but need to get done, right? So my experience, both from working with clients and just from my own life, is that when you are working from a weekly to-do list, like one list that is, these are all the things that need to get done this week, one of 3 scenarios is generally going to play out. So scenario 1 is you do all of the fun, the exciting, the things that you like to do, the easy things for you to do at the beginning of the week, which means the end of the week is just a slog, right? It's just a bunch of things that you don't really like doing, you don't care to do, or take a lot of time, that now are all at the end of the week, and you're just burnt out by the time you get to noon. So something's not going to get done because you're so tired and you didn't budget your time and attention and energy very well. So something gets moved off to next week and probably doesn't get done until the end of the next week because it's not something that you feel like doing. So the second scenario is similar-ish, where at the beginning of the week it feels like you have all of the time in the world to get things done because you have a whole week and it's only Monday morning, or it's only Monday afternoon, or it's only Tuesday morning. And then all of a sudden it's Tuesday evening and you're like, oh, I have so much to do in the next 3 weeks or the next 3 days. Or, oh no, it's Wednesday afternoon and I only have 2 days and I have these meetings and I have all this stuff to get done. And, because you spent the earlier part of the week dilly-dallying because it just felt like you had so much time to complete the things on your list. So suddenly there's a lot to do on Thursday and Friday, right? And it's frustrating. And again, things get pushed off to the next week. And then there's the third scenario, which is you are so overwhelmed with this list of things that needs to get done that picking out something to work on is just super frustrating. And if you do pick something out of the list and you start working on it, then you're jumping around because, oh, is this really what I need to be working on right now? Oh, maybe I should be doing this, because you haven't made those decisions for yourself at the beginning of the day. Or you just decide to do nothing or you just end up doing nothing really because you're so overwhelmed by all of these things that are on your list to do. And you're like, there's so much to do. And then nothing happens, right? So you might have guessed from my descriptions and the way that I've been talking that if I had to choose between the options of working from a weekly list or picking just 3 things to do for the day, that I would go with picking 3 things. And it's not because I think that you should necessarily always just have 3 things on your to-do list. It's just, given those 2 options, I would say the better choice is to pick 3 things, because that's going to give you a very small list of these are the most important things that need to get done right now, and you can start working from them. And going back to the guy who has the weekly list, like, there wasn't enough context there for me to really understand how that worked for him. And again, like, I didn't know if he had a personal assistant. I didn't know how long his weekly to-do list is. I don't know if he spends his week in a lot of meetings. So generally, there's just a couple of things that need to get done, just him over the course of a week anyway. Like, I don't know what that looks like for him because it's not there. There was no context for his advice. I think it was his advice. I'm not completely sure. So, again, going back to the 3 things or the weekly list, like, you need that context. And while I would choose the 3 things, more to the point, I would recommend creating a daily to-do list in whatever form works best for you, because we all work differently. I know in the clients that I've worked with, some people like to have like a long, detailed daily to-do list. Some people are better if they just say, these are the 3 most important things to get done today, and then here are 3 other tasks that need to get done today. And then they kind of intersperse, the way they work on them. Some people like to get like a really easy win first thing in the morning, and some people like to eat the frog, right? And get the really super hard thing done first. It's figuring out what works best for you and then doing that and scheduling your day around it. And also knowing about your time, energy, and attention, and knowing how much time you have, what types of day you have the highest amount of energy and attention, and keeping those things in mind as you're looking at, what do I want to schedule for today? What is going to meet that time, energy, and attention for me, so that for myself, I know that I can do like writing or creating new things for one part of my day. And then I need to be doing something else for the rest of the day. or unless I'm really, really jazzed about an idea, or it's just not going to work out very well. I'm going to run out of energy, run out of attention for the other piece that I would be creating, for the other thing I would be creating. So know what that looks like for you. And to the business owners that find a daily to-do list too constraining, I'd love to know how you've created your daily to-do list in the past. Because again, there's so many different ways to create a list that allows you to get things done in a way that works for you. What does that look like? And sometimes having that box that we work in, I know that there's a lot of, think outside of the box type of things. Sometimes having those parameters can be super helpful for deciding how you're going to work or what you're going to get done. So think about um, if I told you to paint something or to draw something on your piece of paper, you might sit and go, well, uh, I don't know where to start. But if I told you to draw a sun and then get some crayons and color in that picture around the sun, then that gives you some like, oh, okay, well, I can do this. And the beautiful thing is I've given you just like a little bit of a box, so to speak, to work in, but your picture might look completely different than somebody else's, because yours, maybe you took it and you drew the sun and you drew space and the other planets around it, and maybe somebody else took that same prompt and they drew a sun and then they drew a landscape underneath it, right? Rolling hills or mountains or the sea or a sunset or something, right? There's so many different things you can do with that, but you needed that constraint, that little piece to get you started. And that's what, that to-do list can help you with, is giving you that framework that gives you some guidance. So if you feel like this topic is something that is impacting you personally and you'd like some help with that, I would love to help you with it. And the easiest way to get that help from me, is to apply for coaching. And I will include a link over in the description so that you can go and apply for coaching, and we can talk and see how I can help you and if we're a good fit and what it is that you're looking for, because I'm truly all about what serves you best. And if it's working with me, I will share that. And if it's not, I will share that too. So until next week, much love. Goodbye, everybody.